Hello, everybody, and welcome Queso Cup Teams Edition, last chance qualifier as we get ready to find our final teams, get our order sorted, and get ready for next weekend's Queso Cup Teams World Final. Yes, sirree. It's going to be a fun one, and I am here for it with you. And I am personally so excited for what we are going to see today. The teams are bangers. No questions about that. And today we will see them come out swinging. Ready for this one. And I see some Sandy OP mod in the chat. Good to see you here. For those of you who are just joining us, we are on a slight delay from the rest of the feeds. We will catch up as today's matches go through, but we had to start a little bit later than the rest of them. But you know what? We're going to have a fun time no matter what. Hello, welcome. I'm Rich Slayton. I'm very excited to have you guys here for what is going to be a phenomenal day of Queso Cup action. We are streaming live, of course, on both Twitch and YouTube. Wherever you enjoy it, it will be happening today. And again, let's take a look at our lineup of matches for the day. Oh, as we first transition into the general format stuff. Prize pool for the Queso Cup Finals, $35,000. We have 8 teams invited to this last chance qualifier. That's today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Then next weekend, the double bracket BO5. Double elim next weekend, single elim this weekend. And we are just on day 1 here of our last chance qualifier. Teams and rosters are in the description, as OP Mod Sandy will point out to some of you. And we are just about ready to jump into the action. Here, let's take one last look at the bracket for this event. And here we go. So, PUIGINS versus Hype Boys, Team Queso versus Strangers, Tribe Gaming and SK Gaming, and then CALALAS and CHIVAS Esports. Those will be the round 1 matches that we have today. And let's go ahead and jump into, speaking of matches, let's jump into our first one on the day. Why is some of my buttons were broken. I'll go ahead and get those fixed, everybody. Let me go ahead and change those up. That should be, yeah, that should do that. And that should be that. These buttons should work now. Alright, I will mess with those in a minute. But for now, we are into gameplay, folks, with Coco and Griko. Why is that like that? I will figure it out. So this has been interesting. Loon has been making a pretty big push into the top ranks of our game. In fact, looking at Royale API yesterday, I was very interested to discover that the top rated, according to Royale API, deck with Miner is a Loon deck. So very interesting how these things ebb and flow.
Bold and bashful.
So for those of you who have not watched the Queso Cup Teams Edition so far this year, the format in this BO5 competition, King of the Hill. Hey, Ryan Ruff, thanks for coming. King of the Hill is the opening set. Each team puts forward 3 players. Those players try to eliminate each other. Winner stays on. Loser sits back down. Then the 1v1s are going to be in-game duel mode, like our regular season was for CRL. Here we go. Griko with a lot of pressure. Skelly Dragons down, but that's a really well-timed giant GY push to take the lead for Griko and PUIGINS. Dan, I would love Mega Draft in one of them. I agree. More Mega Draft. Might be putting something in the works. There is going to be, actually I'll announce this again later today. Will this balloon connect? And no, it doesn't. Good hold there by Griko. On Tuesday the 19th, that's next week, I'll be doing a Mega Draft mini bracket with a few top-tier pros and planning to do something with Mega Draft in the early part of next year. More to be discussed later. Now, what you will note here, which is a really interesting departure from the regular season of this matchup, or of this Queso Cup Teams Edition, bans. Each team is able to put forward one global ban. So you see Goblin Giant banned here, and I'm really glad that Queso Cup just chose to do that, because the King of the Hill mode had become, honestly, a little stale without some sort of deck restrictions. So overall, really love it. Here we go. Graveyard in. Giant gets on tower. That should be enough to end this thing. GG, well played. Griko takes game number 1 and will stay on. Now, why is my music button not working correctly? I am doing my best to see if I can get this music button to work right. There we go. We'll get into our second game here fairly soon. Hello, everybody. Wherever you're coming from, whether you're coming from inside of Clash Royale or whether you're just a normal Clash Royale esports viewer, it's good to see you. I haven't hung out with many of you since World Finals. Smurfblade, resident expert, saying, I guess I can see, kind of see how so many people are using Giant GY now. Yeah, it's popping. Giant GY is doing its thing, and it's doing its thing well. That's for sure. So game number 1 to PUIGINS, which no big surprises here. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. And a little bit of a staring contest here to start things off. Interesting. I just noticed that they're sending us the game without music. Very, very interesting. I didn't realize that. So, looking like Hype Boy's going xAlee again. Oh no, going Ram Rider instead. Interesting. Are the colors wrong? I thought Griko was playing blue. I'm not really sure how these, like, colors are meant to correlate to everything, to be honest. Geralt looks like he's playing at a bus stop. And Griko playing maybe at home. Wall breakers in, taken care of pretty easily here by the recruits. And that's just really nasty, the way you can control here. And this is why these minor wall breakers variations, this one's very popular right now. Of the minor control or minor wall breakers variations, this one is one of the top ones, and you can see why. Once you get those Evo archers in play, they are just so nasty. So far, though, lead for the Ram Rider here. Do global bans apply to both teams? Yes, that's why they're called global. Bans mean neither player is allowed to play them. Interesting the Hype Boys didn't put one in. PUIGINS just went ahead and banned the Goblin Giant. No surprises there. Wall Breakers going to sneak one through, I think. There we go. 18:05 to 16:31. Geralt with the lead, but Griko starting to sneak back into things, although that's a unfortunate little misplay there by Griko to allow that to connect. Ram Rider will get onto the bomb tower, but won't get much further. And Griko has to play kiting Wall Breakers here and just keep those recruits off the board. And honestly, 2 elixir for Wall Breakers to kite effectively, not the worst thing in the world. Dykesy on Twitch asking, what's my favorite deck of choice? I prefer Mega Draft. No decks. Ram Rider in. Oh, that's a nasty. And this is the Evo Recruits connection. Lumberjack sneaking through and no way to stop it right now for Griko. Miner comes in to pick up and retarget, but Griko is in a world of hurt. Mother Witch going to do it, and there you go. Geralt takes game number 2. A little pump of the fist there. Loving the nighttime win outside. GG, well played. Thumbs up. All right. Dudes playing downtown, yeah. Do you personally like the Tower Troops idea? We'll see. It's interesting. You know, I won't know how much I like it until we see it, but I like doing new things and taking the game in new directions and keeping it fresh. So, you know, we'll see. It's something people have suggested for a long time as a possible way to add to the game and change things in the game. So we'll see. YouTube saying, what's up, Rich? Hello, how are you? In Mega Draft, what's your default first pick? If it's Little Prince, what's your second choice? Default first pick is typically either Log, Poison, or Fireball. A lot of that depends on what I see on the board. Here we go. Vitor up next for PUIGINS. But yeah, Mega Draft picks are really dependent on, like, I really take a good look at the first board and try to see if there's any strong relationship between abusable cards and the spells that counter them. Ewiz, favorite underrated first pick here from Smurfblade. Interesting. Royal Giant early from Geralt, looking to play kind of in the older style of getting... But he's not playing Evo Royal Giant. Fascinating. That feels like an Evo Royal Giant move. He was up Elixir, so you do understand the move here. And you see Vitor preparing to counter this low, knowing that that Fishboy is going to be a problem. Wall Breakers high, and that's a great set of Wall Breakers there by Vitor to protect the Miner from the Fisherman. Really great stuff. And you saw Geralt really looking there to take advantage of the Elixir lead that he had and just shutting it down nicely. And this is just a pressure play, and he still gets the Evo Archer on tower. That's crazy. Vitor was trying to, and a nice King Tower activation by Geralt. Very, very well played here. That's going to be super consequential. This has been a really great opening minute and a half between these two. Geralt recognizing the Elixir disadvantage, Vitor defending beautifully and keeping his Miner up so that the Fisherman wouldn't pull it, getting the Royal Giant down. Then counterplaying, and Geralt was just a half step late. That was supposed to just be pressure and force out the response. Instead, Vitor able to get damage on tower, and Geralt responds with a King Tower activation. That was a really fun first 2 minutes here. Bruno Too Lazy has his final today. Good luck on your finals. Royal Giant goes to the left-hand lane. How long will the stream be? A few hours. Royal Giant looking to connect on the right-hand side. Does get one. This time Fisherman does get in. You see what Vitor is trying to avoid earlier on. Richie, have you seen that Ken has a creator code again? No, I have not. This is pretty tight here. Vitor in a tough spot where he has to go to the safe spot a lot more earlier. And this is interesting. Smurfly making a really good point here that this Royal Giant Skeleton King deck has typically run Mother Witch plus Zappies. And Geralt opting to swap both of those out for the Phoenix and the Evo Archers. I have seen this with the Mother Witch replaced by either the Phoenix or the Evo Archers. Replacing both of them is a really interesting choice here. And we are seeing the challenge of that problem. Here we go, final minute, triple elixir. And lead for Vitor with Minor Poison. Remember, it's just Fireball versus Minor Poison Log in terms of getting right on that tower. So unless Geralt can find a way to break through here, and now with 4 archers on the board, it's looking less and less likely. This should be a pretty solid win here for Vitor. Bar Barrel, you see, can't break through. And this is where you really wish you had the Evo Royal Giant to break through, or your Evo Archers in cycle to help it break through. But Geralt is finding no place for them, no use for them. And this should be, barring a complete meltdown right here of Vitor. And that's it. GG. Well played. Vitor taking game number 3, advantage. PUIGINS. Galicia Raymond saying, why isn't there sound? What do you mean? Isn't there game? Don't you guys hear game sounds? Don't you guys hear game sound? Maybe you're muted on your, maybe your, something on your side is muted there. Which phone do I have? Interesting question, but I have an iPhone. Never had someone ask me which phone I have. That's interesting. Great. Might need to refresh your stream or unmute something. Let's see. Let's go ahead and jump into our next one. What is...
Kneel, numbskulls.
Man, I need to fix that button. That button's not working correctly. All right, more Loon. And if there's a player of the year who didn't make it to World Finals, you're looking at him right now. Clown, also known as Kickash, is someone who I really expect to make Worlds next year, and who was very close to making it this year. And a little splash yard here. For those of you who are curious about decks, this is the one I'm currently running. I started running Splash Yard end of last season just because I was facing so much hog. Vitor's going to take a little bit here. Not a devastating amount, but he's going to take some here. NATO Baby Dragon Little Prince Tombstone for the bomb tower. From Clown's perspective, I think I prefer the Tombstone over the bomb tower here just because of the monk. Mind of Roddy saying, Rich, man, I'm going to have to say that Mo's no longer the GOAT. He had a great run of 6 golden tickets, which is great. Ultimately hasn't been playing his best recently. Yes, but being the GOAT isn't about what you did recently. Being a GOAT is about what you did overall in your career. And I think overall in his career, Mohamed Light still has had the greatest career, the most impressive record of anybody. The only one who has an argument against that is potentially Mugi. And I'm going to do a video, I think, eventually breaking down the Mugi versus Mohamed Light debate. But just because Mo isn't at his best this last, like, month or so, I don't think undermines 3 years of excellence. Little Prince here in reply to the Loon. That's a good snowball. He has to NATO. And well played. And Vitor now trying to see if he can win the race. He's not going to, and that's going to be all tied up 2-2 between PUIGINS and Hype Boys. Clown putting it down. Nicely done. Why does that button still not work? All right, well, I will have to get it fixed. Here we go. Let me go take a look at this button one more time. The joys of at-home production. All right, so that should be... Yeah, that should be working. Let me press it again. Yeah. Okay, so why is it just working randomly sometimes? Oh, well. Game 5 coming up soon. One second. This is my first time seeing the finals. Okay, is it the finals? This is the last chance qualifier, folks. So I'm clarifying all the information right now, but over the course of this year, these teams played multiple splits and garnered enough points to make it to our grand final next weekend. This last chance qualifier is a last opportunity for these teams to try to get some more points, change themselves in the standings, and maybe for the teams that have been kind of lagging behind, get a shot at going to that grand final overall. So that's what we're looking at today. Here we go, game number 5. Mo versus Clown. Now, this is an interesting matchup because Clown has been the best player of 2023 against Mohamed Light. I don't think anyone has beaten Mohamed Light in competition more than Clown has this year. Let's see. Which is why Mugi is the GOAT currently. There is no such thing as being the GOAT currently. There's either the GOAT or you're not. The GOAT doesn't like change hands based on who's best today. It's the overall breadth and depth of your career. I personally and most pros agree that Mohamed Light's full career, despite having 1 world championship to 2 world championships, his overall breadth of work, depth and breadth of his work is more impressive than Mugi's.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am? Bold and bashful.
GOAT and currently kind of contradicts each other. Yeah, there's no such thing as currently the GOAT. What happens if Monk could reflect delivery? I don't think Monk does reflect delivery. Bomb Tower is usually too awkward. We're talking about that Splash Yard game from before, yep. I had to pick Mugi as the GOAT because he performed better in one competition. That's kind of my view on it. Again, GOAT is not about what have you done for me lately. And I think Smurfly with a great point here. I think overall, Mo Light's performance has been dominating like no other. Mugi had great moments for sure, but when you're looking at overall, I think Mo Light's still the GOAT. Even if he's not currently the best player right now. Right, yeah, best player right now does not mean the same thing as GOAT. Those are 2 totally different things. GOAT is an acronym that stands for greatest of all time. That's not a thing that just like changes hands with whoever's best right now. I want to talk about that Monk reflection over the Evo Archers and Airsurfer match. You can talk about it all you want. It's because the monk has a range. Like the reflection is a bubble, not like just his skin. Oh, here we go. This is good value, and look at this. Right now, one of the big problems for Clown is it's very difficult for him to get to that little prince. And look at how much value Mohamed's getting out of this one little prince. The longer you can keep that up, and when we talked about it before, we talked about protect your musketeer in the past. Look at how long that little prince stayed on the board. That was absolutely crazy. Rich, are you a Warriors fan? No, I grew up as a Sacramento Kings fan living in Sacramento. Giant to the right into a pile of recruits. I don't think Mo's going to go full arrow snowball here. That seems like that'd be an overcommitment. That's a good set of arrows on a Clown. He might actually get a lot of damage here, and he does. Look at that. Clown opened up a big lead here, 27-23 to 20-76. Giant to the right-hand lane, Evo Archers to the left-hand side. And the Guardian just a half step late to really help that little prince. Does the Evo Archer get tanked for long enough to be a menace on the left-hand side? And it does. Giant going to get some shots too, but look at that Evo Archer getting tanked for by the Giant. Just like that, Mohamed Light gets great damage in both lanes and takes a slight damage lead. You see a little shift of the body from Clown.
Doing it for the fam.
Final minute, we have not seen Mo really go all out. He's having to play a lot of defense here. Should do something here. There you go. Guardian comes out to put the little prince on the left-hand side. 18-80 lead for Kickash. Can he maintain this consistent record of being Mo's kryptonite in 2023? He can get on tower directly a little easier. Finally, the graveyard comes in very late. That mortar might go to tower. No, it's going to go back to the graveyard, actually. And the snowball makes a little bit of room, but not that much. Oh, last-second skeleton shots, 1572 to 1769. This is a lot coming down the lane. Giant to hold. The arrows clear the minions off. Has to graveyard. Won't be able to. And this is going to be a win, I believe, for Kickash. What a great Game 3 win. Clown getting it done. Very, very nicely played by 110 and 280. Both those towers under so much duress. And Clown does a great job. Very, 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 very nice. Clown's too cold, says Avenger Endgame. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, set number 1 goes for Hype Boys. Very well played. Let's go ahead and get ready for set number 2, which is going to be a 1v1 set between Coco and Mugi. That's a lot of fun. A 1v1 set between Coco and Mugi. Let's see. I see the Little Prince every time. Yeah, Little Prince is all over. It's still a little bit too strong. I agree with that. Clown is popping off. Clown is gangster, dude. Clown's been great. Bro, that match was insane. Yeah, that was a great... That whole King of the Hill was great. We're not done yet with the match, of course. This is best of 5 sets. Let's go into our second set, which is going to be Coco versus Mugi. Let's go, the defending world champion. Why is this music button so busted? I need to figure that out. Rich, you always have the best sunglasses. Drop the link. That's going to be gooder.com/Rich Slayton. Boom. Oh, I put 2 dots. My mistake. But just one link is one's enough. What's the prize pool? $65,000, which is pretty cool. Hello, Xander. How good to see you.
Don't you know who I am?
we don't often see Mugi, and so you talk about the GOAT debate, right? One of the knocks on Mugi, besides that Mo's winning all the, like, the monthly finals, the golden tickets, all the things he's done throughout the regular season in 3 years in a row now, is that Mugi doesn't participate in a lot of these competitions. And so you don't get to see a lot of Mugi competing outside of CRL. What do you think about the level of skill in the CRL finals? Was it slightly higher this year or the same? Honestly, I think that because of the meta, it was really hard to judge. I think the Goblin Giant, all the Goblin Giant decks didn't really let us see the skill of anybody. And I'm gonna be pretty blunt about it. The Goblin Giant is a very low-skilled archetype. It's one that lets you recover from significant deficits with kind of really reckless play. And because it was so prominent and featured pretty much from both sides almost every single match this time, it really made us hard. It really was hard to look at the skill. Do I think the players that were there were the most skilled players we've had? I think that was definitely up there with the most skilled World Finals we have in terms of the caliber of the players who were there, because they qualified through a year that was primarily not that meta. But I think that meta didn't let us really see them play at their highest skill. And so between the Goblin Giant problem and Evo's already increasing increasing the variance and making things less predictable, I don't think that we saw the best. I'd like to see I would have loved to see that World Finals with either this or maybe even what the next balance changes are. But that's the best part about coming back next year, is we'll see another World Finals with a totally different meta. And right now we're seeing a game 1 of this 1v1 with absolute dominance right now by Mugi. Coco is just not able to do anything here. No name asking about who's in the SK squad. All the full team rosters are in the description here on YouTube. You can find them all right there. Wall breakers in on the right-hand side. They're going to sneak through, and that's going to be a nice 1-2 connection. But as we saw Mugi do a little bit at World Finals, he's going to go ahead and allow some damage just to secure this one. I don't think he's going to play, just try to play lockdown defense here the whole time. He's going to let some damage in when he wants, and then just chip away at this one. And there we go, poison in. GG, well played. Game number 1 for Mugi. Now remember, we are in the in-game duels, so unlike World Finals where you could really cook from game to game to game, you have to prepare your whole duel set beforehand in this matchup. There would be more than 20 Evos in CRL 24, says Assad on Twitch. Maybe. Hi, Rich, says Keiko. Hello. Mugi's gameplay is so clean, says Cian Tan. Yes. So lava for Coco. What an interesting choice. Who is the GOAT right now? Well, let's get right now off there. I think that there's an argument right now. There is a strong argument between Mugi and Mo for who is the greatest of all time. Take the word right now, take the term right now off there. There's an argument that Mugi's the best player in the world right now and that Mo is still the GOAT. You could also argue that Mugi is the GOAT because of 2 world championships versus 1, but I think that the overall body of work of Mo outstrips the 2 world championships. Let's keep this in mind also, folks, and I think this is really important in a game like this one. The world championship is a tournament like any other tournament. It's harder to qualify for, and you play on a big stage and all those different pieces. But I think judging, and like, honestly, if anyone other than Mugi had won this World Final, there'd be no real discussion about it. And I still think that the discussion is kind of a fun one, but I still think it leans towards, I still think Mo is the GOAT. The greatest of all time, not the greatest of right now. Remember, I used to say that Surgical Goblin was the GOAT and that Mo was the BOAT before Mo really solidified it, in my opinion, right? I said that Surgical was the greatest of all time and that Mo was the best of all time. I think right now, Mugi might be the best of right now, and that Mo is the GOAT. And this hog is just murdering Coco right now. Tesla in, let's see, and there you go, guards. As I see how aggressively Mugi tries to protect this firecracker. Hog in, Tombstone, nicely played. I don't think Hog touches here, 300 HP left. Guards, then Tesla. Nicely done. Mugi's clean, as always. GG. Oh, well, nice Tombstone to hold it off, but not going to do much. All right, we are tied up 1-1. Take a look at that. All tied up. Hype Boys takes set number 1. And set number 2 for... Can this button please work? Please work, music button. You're very annoying. And that should be updated in a moment. Let's see. Aries says the argument that Mo dominated most competitions is the problem since Mugi didn't compete in there. He should have used the best when he needed to, and that was it. Yes, except for Mugi did compete in all these CRLs. In 21, 22, and 23, all of the golden ticket events, all the monthly final events, and Mo dominated those events that Mugi was in. So Mugi didn't play in all of the external events and all like the side events, but if we're talking even just purely about CRL, Mugi competed in those and Mo like ran the table practically with golden tickets in 2022. Ran the table almost. He got, of the 6 golden ticket monthly finals Mo participated in 2023, he won 5 of them and got second in the 6th one of the ones he participated in, right? So I don't think, again, I'm going to do a whole video breaking this down, but I think that Mugi has the best second claim behind Mohamed Light, but his overall body of work, if you include CRL, you include ranked or ladder, because even then I think Mo now has surpassed Mugi, which one of his big claims was that he was the top, was one of the all-time greats in ladder, and then you include all these third-party events. I don't think you can make Ronaldo, like Messi greater than Ronaldo. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Clean match right there. Yes, absolutely. Someone interested that both Mugi and Piedra are number 1 and number 2 in the world. Got to World Finals by coming in second to Mo Light in a monthly final. Also interesting. We need a docu-series on why Mo is the GOAT. Maybe. People who say Mugi's the GOAT only watch CRL esports once a year. Pretty much. Let's see. What's your favorite team? Not really. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite team, I would say. Next King of the Hill coming up here in just a second. I wonder if we have full lineups for the day. Well, let me go ahead and see if we actually have, oh. It's not there, it's there. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let me open that up. Finally got some information I was asking for, folks, which will help me get some. Here we go. What? That's supposed to stop it. That's crazy. That button is so broken. Stream Deck, stop breaking. Let me look at this again. Play, pause. Play, stop, maybe? Let's try that. Maybe that button will work better. Here we go. King of the Hill. Teams are currently tied 1-1. Mo leading things off against Coco. Ban is still the Goblin Giant, apparently. One moment. Lineups, blah, blah, format. There we go. 3.1.3. Let me go there. Where? I'm looking for some information here, folks, to clarify with something, but unfortunately, I'm having difficulty finding it. There's the match. There's that list. Okay, so I don't know what I need to find the current standings, but nice win there for Mohamed Light. And the teams are now on the proper sides, folks, to match up with their colors. For those of you who were concerned about that earlier. All right. Music button. God, why is that still not? This is gonna be the theme of the day, folks. Is my button that turns the music on and off for some reason just doesn't want to work. Can I change this to like a mute button maybe? You know, let me try that. That might actually be better. Let me delete this button. You guys get a little insight. Let me go ahead and switch over. You guys get a little insight to the behind the scenes of how production, especially home production, works. Let me see if that one will work. Yes, that's so much better. That's gonna be toggle mute. Great. And you know what I bet I can do here is I bet I can combine these two into one thing. Move to multi-action. Great. And then put you in there. Oh, can I now take you into this multi-action? Nope. Let's undo that. All right, folks, I've almost got it. Let's go in here. Can I add in something? Oh, that's how we do this. All right, here we go. And then we're going to add that in. And this one is going to toggle mute for that. And then, does this work? Oh, it almost works. Where's my audio? Boom. Hold on. I'll get it to work, folks. You guys are like, Rich, what are you doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing, folks. I'm trying to bring you the greatest Clash Royale production of all time. So this last chance qualifier, the top 6 teams will make it to the World Finals. This last chance qualifier allows some teams to try to go on a big run in this single bracket tournament and get enough points to overtake someone above them and make it into the competition. Where are... Where are current standings and points? All right. I'm now going to be back to talking to the chat here. And by the way, folks, if you do like Clash Royale esports, that grand final with $65,000 on the line will be live streamed all 4 days here next weekend from the from Thursday or Wednesday through Saturday. Do all the teams play one round today? Yes, this is a single elimination, and we'll see all 8 teams today. Why didn't Mugi or Mo get sent for the 2v2 championship? I don't even know what you're talking about. What 2v2 championship? Will there be monthly finals next year? I don't know the current exact format plan for next year. I believe it's going to be similar to what we saw this year, but we don't know. Galicia Raimundo, thanks for coming. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. And E-Giant versus Lava Hound, so we get the understanding of why they were waiting for so long. Oh, those pups are going to do a lot of damage here. Develop in the building. Good to see you here, bud. Good bar. That's a great barb barrel because it allows the E-Giant a chance to get closer to the Inferno Dragon and start stunning the Inferno Dragon and resetting. Nice little NATO there. That barb barrel from Mo was super duper legit. Super duper legit. I think he's still going to lose this game here, but you see the idea he was going for. And that's going to be Inferno Dragon with some sizzle on the tower. Might not be enough. And Aries, I'll answer this question. Ask this question again during a break, your question about devices for streaming. I'll happily answer your question after we're out of gameplay. Right now, Mo's trying to hold on here, but this looks like Geralt's got it. Going to set up Bowler to the left-hand side. This Valk's going to be a problem. I don't even know if he can NATO all this over. Fireball in, GG, well played. Geralt just chilling here at this, in this garage. Where the heck is he? Who knows? Oh, and I finally got my button to work. Oh, that's weird. When I changed screens, it changed the music. Oh boy. What is... Oh, the music's crazy today. Music's crazy today, folks. Words from the Cashman. Inferno Dragon's overrated. Yeah, it did well today. Guys, am I banned or no? You're not currently banned. Are you the person who was trying to post spoilers earlier? Because that will get you a full-time ban if you do. Let's see. What's the best win condition in my opinion? Not sure. This person putting in some shruggy emojis into the chat. I thought I'd fix the music thing, but we'll see. All right, King of the Hill, game number 1. All sorted. Oh, that was game 2, not game 1. We should be going into our next game here in a second. What do you mean by spoilers? What I mean, David, is that we are a few minutes behind the primary stream, the clean feed. But aren't you, not sure about the must-win con. It's clearly it's Goblin Giant right now, but Goblin Giant's going to get nerfed even more, hopefully soon. Here we go. All right, Griko and Geralt tied up 1-1. How are you today? Ready for the finals? Can't wait for next week. It's going to be fun. Can you answer me now, please? Sorry, I can't, like, between matches maybe, once we're caught up. But long story boring, I connect my iPad to a capture card and my capture card to my PC. I don't use like a mirroring. I don't use some sort of free program. I paid for a capture card so that I can get a reliable, good quality connection between my device and my PC. Someone was asking about my disc golf discs earlier. If you ask again later. Any views on the controversial statements by Colby in the US? Colby's a clown. I root against him every single time I see him. Which state do you live in? I live in Texas. E-Giant versus E-Giant here. This Phoenix is going to be nice against these baby dragons. PUIGINS isn't qualified for the final. Everyone, actually, PUIGINS is probably already qualified because they did have enough points. I think at this point, so here's how this last chance qualifier works. All 8 of the teams are in. This last chance qualifier allows you to fight for position, and because the top 6 teams go through to the playoffs, it both will allow some of the teams at the bottom to potentially fight their way into that top 6, and the teams that are already in the top 6 to fight back and forth for for position and ranking to determine who gets where. And very important, let me just double check something about the grand final here, because I believe the grand finals, it's a double elimination tournament, but with 6 teams playing, I believe that the grand finals, yeah, the top 2 teams in the grand finals get a first round bye. So this LCQ is important both for the bottom 2 teams, the 7th and 8th ranked teams, to try to qualify into the top 6 and replace teams that are currently qualified for the finals, and important for those other 4 teams to try to be battling for that 1 or 2 spot to get a first round bye. That's insane. Can't wait to see the winner. Me too. What's the rewards of this tournament? $65,000, $15,000 to the first place team. Will we see Ian competitive more next year? I believe so. Ian's a very competitive person, and he has a lot of drive and grind. And we'll see if that translates into success next year. Specifically, Ares, I use an AV.io capture card. I use the AV.io 4K. You can also use the AV.io HD. They're a few $100. There are other capture cards that are available, but I connect my iPad to that through an adapter, and then that through HDMI, or that through like a USB cable to my computer. Frisbee collection in the back. I will talk about it when we have a legitimate break. I'm still trying to catch it. Again, we are on a slight delay behind the primary stream. So once we get caught up all the way, I'll be able to spend more time just kind of chatting during the downtimes. But right now, I'm trying to limit the downtime between matches so we can get fully caught up to the live. That's going to get a little bit of damage on the tower. Not a ton, but a little bit. Phoenix does require a response. Bar barrel, nice kite. Back to E-Giant again for Griko. I really thought that the Phoenix would give a significant advantage over the Baby Dragon here, but Lightning doesn't kill Baby Dragon, does kill the initial Phoenix. So that's a huge, huge distinction. Where are you normally streaming? Both on YouTube and Twitch most of the time when I do esports. I don't stream my own stuff very often, pretty much at all. I mostly stream esports related content. There's a lot on the board right now. A well-timed NATO here could be a game decider. Lightning in, goes to the Evo Archers. Oh, that was a weird little hiccup there in the feed. And GG, well played. Draw, giving Hype Boys the 2-1 lead. All right, let's continue our bid to catch up to the the live feed. think we're about like 14 minutes behind. I'm trying to make up that ground between each of these games here. And by the time we get into like our second or third match of the day today, we will be fully live. We are not see Surgical Goblin often in tournaments. Did he quit? No, I think he's actually in this. Is he in this one? Let's go ahead and jump into gameplay here. Is Surgical Goblin on one of the teams for this? He was. I know he's in GKR. Maybe he's not on. Oh yeah, he's on Team Queso for this event. Will you ever see a triple champion in the UFC? Unlikely. Rich, will you compete for CRL in 2024? Absolutely not. I am not a CRL caliber player. But I'm a commentator, and I love doing it, so I'll keep on doing it. Really love the live feed from players. Yeah, me too. Is that miss minutes on your cap? No, it's a disc golf related cap. This is another round disc golf. It's a disc golf shop / tap room. And I just have a cool hat, so I liked it. Oh, well-timed. What a well-timed pump, but you're against EQ. Doesn't look like Evo Archers got a nerf. I mean, they did. They're still very powerful. $65K? Yeah, $65,000. The specific prize pool portion of that, $65,000 is the full year-on prize pool. The specific portion for this chunk of the competition is, let's see, 15, 22, 27, 30, 31.5, 32.5. Yeah, 65,000 is the full-on year. 32,500, I believe, is the amount. If I did my math correctly, very quickly there, for this. Yeah, 25, 30, 31, 32, 32.5. Nikito saying 100-0 matchup for Mugi. Well, especially from the starting hand perspective. Wonder how many pros use Evo Archers. All the time. Oh, and it was a Little Prince ban. That's why we haven't seen Little Prince here in this set. See, that's what I'm talking about. If I think the Electro Dragon was buried. And GG, well played. Mugi ties things up. We're going to Game 5 again. These King of the Hills have been sweaty, folks. Sweaty King of the Hill. Now let's see. When I switch to my camera, the music is consistent. There we go. It was being very weird. All right. Let's continue along at a brisk pace to get into our next King of the Hill matchup. Is Mugi going to win? We'll find out. Here we go. Mugi versus Clown. They fixed the glitch in Little Prince. I think they did fix it. I think they already pushed that. I need to double check that. But I believe they did. Smurfblade, you would know. Christian Santana saying, Rich, you and Andrew covered the World Finals so well. Capture each moment. I love what you do. Thank you so much. World Finals is a blast. And I chose to wear my sunglasses far less in World Finals so that you guys could, more of my emotions would come through on camera. I was very happy with that choice. They make a couple appearances here and there, but most of the time, I'm not doing them at Worlds. I think I'm going to stick with that in the future, too. Rich, don't you think the game needs a 2-elixir tower, a bear trap, or a pushback trap? Interesting. I haven't thought about that enough to really feel like that. What's one of the most used cards in CRL? Well, at World Finals, Goblin Giant by a lot. But overall, over the course of the year, over the course of the entire year, RG Skeleton King was the most popular, most successful deck of the year. Can Mugi be in the next duel? Good question. With the, let me look at the BO5 format. I'm just going to go ahead and double check that. Best of 5 sets. Let's see. I'm looking for the ruling on that one. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if there are any restrictions on that. Let me see. Preparation for match, use of camera, conduct, sponsorships, lineups. I don't see anything listed that's about like who can play in what sets. But maybe there's something in there that I'm not seeing. I'm also trying to read it like on the fly. Solidaire, how are you doing today? Which I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Ari Girl, no one plays Expo. That's unfortunate. That's because it's bad. The sequencing there, not great from Clown. Still gets some damage though. But would have liked to try to get the Firecracker behind that Hog. Still a nice lead for Clown at the moment. Oh, that's a ton of damage from Mugi. Look at that. Takes the lead back and has pressure in both lanes here. 1812 to 1694 plus the opposite lane pressure. So here's the big interesting thing about this, right, though, is that you have the Tesla, which can avoid earthquakes. Not going to avoid that Evo Firecracker, though. Doesn't have the log for this. Doesn't take a shot. Nicely done. But you have the 3-card cycle ability. Clown is more easily able to get that distance damage because of the Evo Firecracker, plus the 3-card cycle with the Mighty Miner. Tesla better able to avoid earthquakes. Oh, that's a nice log. Should get one. Doesn't. The bomb. Nice Mighty Miner bomb, but back to another log here. Bomb tower back out again. 1034 to 1194. Mugi's starting to turn up the pressure here. Mighty Miner on that left-hand side. Mugi's going to just eat whatever damage comes in there. Tesla to pick up the Hog, plus the log for the chip damage. Mighty Miner goes opposite lane. Doesn't get anything for Clown. Hog plus Goblin's left-hand lane. Now we have the EQ, and I think the Clown knows that this one, because of the Tesla play of Mugi's side, is going to end up being for Mugi. GG, well played. What a match between those two. What a game between those two. And that's King of the Hill 3-2 again, this time in favor of PUIGINS. So now it's PUIGINS with the 2-1 set advantage and a chance to take this whole thing down. And I believe that would end, if Hype Boys lose here, I think that would be the end of their Queso Cup season. Mugi is so good. Yes. Do I think Poison needs a nerf? Interesting thought. Not 100% sure, but maybe. Mugi's insane. Yes, he is. Clown played very well. I agree. Why PUIGINS and SK CALALAS? Because they're both Shot CALALAS teams. Shot CALALAS fielded and qualified 2 teams for this event. So that's why they have the same logo. You can see one is full color, one is grayscale. But yeah, they were able to qualify 2 teams because the players signed to Shot CALALAS are insane. All right, here we go. Our 1v1 set. Let's do it. Is Clown Mo's kryptonite? Clown versus Mo, dual mode, 1v1. And everybody watching here, I really appreciate you being here. This is our first of 4 matches today. We're going to be here for a while. But I encourage you, if you don't already yet, subscribe to the channel because we'll be back next weekend with the grand final where the top 6 teams compete for $32,000. And, of course, I do Clash Royale esports stuff here all the time, including on Tuesday, I'll be doing a Mega Draft mini bracket with 4 top-tier professionals. Are Riley and Ian playing? No, they are not. Neither of them. I don't think that Ian's on a team, is he? I know Riley's not. Let me just double-check all the rosters here. Ian is. Ian's on Tribe. So Ian will be playing for Tribe. I don't know if he's playing, but Ian's on the Tribe roster. Likely to play. And then Riley is not on a team. And does that? No, it doesn't. So you can see there, a lot of people don't think about this very often because of how often people just like hog Ice Spear or hog Log consistently. But as you saw there, you can fully counter hog with just a Tombstone. Kind of like how you can do it with just a Goblin Cage as well when you line it up correctly. I was wondering if the Archer would do enough to get the Goblins out of the way for Mo to break through, but was not the case. But that is one thing. If you're playing Splash Yard, if you're playing E-Giant, whatever it is, obviously NATO is the #1 counter for your ability to activate King and stuff like that, and the fact that NATO can be great. And look at that. Mo going to slow it down to get more damage on the King Tower. That's interesting. But Tombstone, as long as the Hog isn't effectively backed up, Tombstone can fully counter Hog, and that gives you some nice defensive options. The likelihood of you pulling it off more than once when NATO's out of cycle against a decent player becomes less, because that decent player will then begin to see opportunities to break through. So you saw that that Clown didn't try to counter Mo's Hog Rider that time with the direct Tombstone for that exact reason. Mo's in trouble here. Clown deep in enemy territory with a very healthy E-Giant, healthy bowler, and Mo down to almost no elixir. Great NATO, and that should be enough to win the game here for Clown. Great work. Oh, not quite. Phoenix gets kited. And very smart bowler from Clown just to prevent any real opposite lane push here from Mohamed Light. Now, Clown's going to shut down the defense and maybe try to lightning cycle. There you go. High IQ play here from Clown, who, again, I really expect him to be one of the top players of next year. Hog's going to get NATO'd. No, gets bowlered instead. Bowlered plus NATO'd. And Clown just, look at this maturity. Ooh, that's a dangerous Hog shot. But Mo cannot stop that lightning. GG, well played. Game #1 for Clown. NATO bowler bomb tower. If you hate Hog, there you go. Is Morten playing in this tournament? Morten is on SK Gaming. Have you seen Riley on Worlds? I posted a picture of me with Ian and Riley, just so people would, with the caption, I found Ian and Riley, so you guys can stop asking me about him. Rich, remember that legendary match versus Surgical Goblin and Morten? No, I forgot about it. What match are you talking about? Clown is fire. Yeah, no, Clown's great. I would say that Clown is the most deserving player who didn't make World Finals. And I've heard rumblings of his plans for next year, coaching-wise. Nothing to share yet until announcements are made, but I think Clown is poised to have a great 2024. Morten lost a game by 1 HP? What are you talking about? Really? Oh, what a great little monk there. Monk from Mo, yeah, Monk RG. Monk RG, the deck that kind of sunk him in that game against Adriel. When the Evo Archers, or was it? It was Monk RG, wasn't it? VLATube, I disagree. He knows exactly why. And all I'll say is that he violated some rules and was disqualified from participating in that last month, and it was fully justified. He's referring to 2019 World Finals Surge beat Mo by 1 HP. What? That happened? No way! That's so close. At a World Final? I am shocked that that would happen at a World Final, and I'm excited to learn about that right now for the very first time. My word. Sandy, thanks for being here as always. Sandy, OP Mod. Everyone give some love to Sandy in the chat, who is dedicated and phenomenal. And here goes Goblin Giant one side. There was a slight nerf to the attack speed of the Spear Goblin, which I think was a really good call. Absolutely necessary. Does this get the King Tower activation, or does it die too early? Dies too early, yep. Unfortunate for Mohamed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, lots of damage. Lots of damage. Anonymous. Someone said anonymous saying L sarcasm. I don't know, dude. Do you? All right, then, yeah, it has to be Clown being the most deserving. Yeah, by far. By far. Royal Giant doing a lot of work here for Mo. The nerf to the attack speed of the Spear Goblins was absolutely necessary and was a great call by Supercell. I would have also nerfed the Goblin Giant's HP by... So the Goblin Giant got a 6% HP buff back in August. I would have reverted that by half. I would have taken it down by about 3%. I wouldn't have killed it all the way by going back to taking that 6% away, but I would have reverted that by about half. If you want a team, would you pay Molite more than Mugi? That's a good question. They're both S+ tier players. Come on, guys. He's trolling here. Of course I do. I casted. I was the caster who called the 1 HP game. I'm there on camera. Except for this last season, where CRL changed to a 3-caster rotation between 4. I cast every single Clash Royale League match ever until we switched to the 3-person rotation situation. Has World Finals already happened? Yeah, it happened in November. End of November. Somebody said Mo choked and he won. Yeah, hilarious. And that's an easy NATO. Mo running the splashy. So the thing about Splash Yard, right, is Splash Yard creates some really awkward cycles, some really awkward hands. This is the same variant that I run, I believe. Yeah, so he's running Tombstone. This is the same version that I run. And this deck is really, really great against okay players, but you find yourself often in really weird position. And Nikito6 saying Clown 0-100 matchup. I don't necessarily agree with this one, with that assessment. The Evo Firecracker makes things a lot more challenging, and Earthquake is a much better defense against Graveyard than you might imagine. The players who don't play the Graveyard defensively against the Graveyard are the ones who are going to lose this one a lot, which is why this deck beats Hog so much in regular gameplay because a lot of players play Hog and don't play the Earthquake defensively.
Doing it for the
But as you'll, and that's one of the nice things about this matchup. So Graveyard in, goes Poison to defend against Troop, but you can spend, look at that. Not only can you spend just 3 to do a good job countering, but you can spend a full 5. You can go 5 for 5 and do a good job countering. And then try to win the game in the later rounds. Here we go. Hog in. I don't know if I agree this being 100-0 for Splash Area. Because I've played this match against mediocre players and easily dominated them. And I've played it against good players and had trouble, especially if they know how to abuse the Evo Firecracker correctly. Oh, that was tough. That was tough. Mo in. And that's a ton of damage. Little Prince's ability to reset Mighty Miner is insane. Yeah, I mean, Little Prince is still pretty insane. They need to give Rage a buff for damage to tower. Rage is too. I think Rage is too strong right now. Rage is a little bit too strong now, in my opinion. And here we go. This should be a GG well played from Mohamed Light. Has to just hold here and get himself back to the poison. NATO was a bit suspect, but there you go. Poison down. And Mohamed Light. GG. Well played. And that's going to be a 3-1 victory for CALALAS. And he's not the Prince of Egypt, he's the Pharaoh. King Mo is back. This is the most what have you done for me lately game. It's so funny. GG, well played, nice work. And that is PUIGINS, that's right. PUIGINS, the other CALALAS team. 2 CALALAS teams is very annoying. All right, nicely done. That's match number 1 here on the day. Let's take a look at the bracket. As we have PUIGINS knocking out Hype Boys, and I believe that that Hype Boys was bottom of the table standings-wise coming into this. Which I believe means that this... I need to double-check that to be sure. But I believe that Hype Boys was close to bottom of the table in standings, which would then knock them out of playoff contention. So let me go ahead and see if I can find... Where would I find the standings right now? There's that stuff. Do we have the current standings anywhere? We really need current standings / points. That's an actual super important thing for us to have. So hopefully we get that sometime soon. Next up is going to be Strangers versus Team Queso. We'll have that starting here in just a minute. We're getting close to being caught up to the live. I'm still trying to find this standings here. And Rajesh saying with this, hold on, 20-something. Thanks for the super chat. And here we go. Queso versus Strangers. Game number 1, EGW versus Adrian, Piedra. Rosters here on the Team Queso side. Surgical Goblin, DarkAngel, Keef, Lord Seb, and Adrian Piedra, as you see right now. Strangers with EGW, Igor, a.k.a. Hazard, Pandora, Rainbow, and Furkan Arabasi. Hey, Rich, do you still use Gooder sunglasses? I'm wearing some right now. Ian and Riley don't play today. Ian might. I don't know. Points updated on the esports page. On the esports page in CRL. What? Where are these points updated? Like on the Clash Royale esports Twitter, or where are you talking about? Or on like esports.clashroyale.com. Let me go look at that. Let me go to the main esports.clashroyale.com. Where can I find the picture of you with Ian and Riley? On my Twitter. I have to go back a little bit, but it is on my Twitter. Let's see. Does it current? Does it? No, that doesn't have the. That does not have the current standings. How many games are left? This is match 2 of 4 matches today. Adrian Piedra getting it done there early with this graveyard play. Why no Ice Wiz in the Splash Yard version? Because Little Prince is better. Little Prince gives you not only the power of Little Prince, but also the 3-card cycle. I mean, you can like kind of barely call this Splash Yard now, right? You only have one true Splash Troop. Isn't it crazy there's a CR tournament called the Cheese Cup? Yeah, I mean, it's sponsored by, it's Team Queso hosts it. EGW going crazy with the Sith Lord fit. Feel ya. Whose face is that in tattoo? On Adrian's shoulder? I don't know. I need to look at that more closely. 14 seconds left. Just got to hold here and not make any big mistakes. So I don't think there is a face in that tattoo. Looks like Adrian talking to his chat over there. Points updated in the CRL game esports page. I don't know where you mean. I'm trying to find that. Is it like inside the app? Do I think Adrian Piedra will make a World Finals next year? I know he wants to. He's going to have to grind a lot to get to a level where that's possible. Is this like, is it inside the app? Let me go ahead and open my... Let me go ahead and open my Clash Royale app and see if it's in there. I'm opening up CR, and I'm going to go to the to where that live button is, the esports tab. I don't see this in the. I don't see anything in the esports tab. I'm in the esports tab. I see the link to my channel, which is always fun. I don't see. Where are you, Vinoth? Where are you seeing this? This standing situation. I like have no idea where you're seeing this. I can't find it anywhere. And normally I know where all these things are. Here we go. Game 2. Furkan up for Strangers. Maybe if I go, is there a page for this on... Oh, and interesting. There's no page for this. It looks like, oh, yeah, there's no page currently for this on Royale API, which is fascinating. It's on the website, I'm pretty sure. On the esports.clashroyale website? Really? I'm there. I don't see anything that really would indicate that. Furkan this year ended 38th overall on points, which put him 31 places out of World Finals qualification. The top performing player from Turkey this year. 2 other players, I think, from Turkey made the top 100, Polat and Aslan. It was in Clash Royale game, not in app, bro. I don't even know what you mean, dude. I'm looking on the website. I don't see it. I'm like literally on the CRL website. I've been looking in the game. I don't see where you guys are saying that the standings currently are available. So, no clue. What website are you even talking about? Look up Clash Royale Esports and it brings it up. Did it for me like on the official website? I'm just gonna Google Queso Cup Clash Royale. It's actually great. It's actually insane that I don't directly just have this information easily available. Let's see. Let me look at the LCQ. No. Let me look at the split leaderboard. All right, I found something on Liquipedia that seems to give me the information. So yes, with Hype Boys losing, they are now eliminated from contention for the grand finals. Strangers finished in 5th place. So they really need to get a win over Queso here because there's still the danger of SK Gaming having a good performance and pushing up through this competition. Adrian Piedra. 2 up, 2 down. Nicely done. Strangers and CHIVAS both need to be nervous. The SK Gaming could decide that today is the day to pop off. All right. I'm going to try this now. Open the game. I'm in the game. Click News Royale, then click Esports page. Queso Cup. So I'm on News Royale. I'm on the Esports page. And what I see is this. I see the link to my channel, and I see last phase of the Queso Cup takes place now, right? So then I click that thing, and that thing brings up just this thing that explains the format and explains and shows the prize pool. But it has no... is my phone gonna do this, right? It doesn't have any of the standings information. So I don't know. But whatever, I found it on Liquipedia. Thankfully, someone updates Liquipedia and is able to help. So that's nice. Let's go into our next game. Oh, interesting. And thank you very much. One of the CMs from one of the Clash Royale CMs just pointed out that the standings are actually in the asset. There's this. I couldn't see it. I was on a very tiny screen, but the points are there below. I just thought that was a list of the teams, not actually the standings. But the points are in there. Okay, that's what you guys mean. No one could just tell me the points were on the picture. And now all of this makes sense.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am?
Adrian Piedra is certainly having fun doing his patented like hand play thing. He used to say that his hands would get kind of like cold when he was playing, or like kind of stiff. So that's what he's doing. He's always moving his hands there because his hands kind of get stiff. Did he get dared to play Giant Graveyard? No, Giant Graveyard is good for some matchups. Where's Igor though? I don't know. Maybe he's got. I don't know when he's playing today. He's on the roster. I'm also looking for something else. Where do they submit the lineups? 3-3 split. 4 rainbow. I've been talking about this a lot. I really do think that the Royal Recruits would benefit dramatically in terms of being a card that is interesting. I think they would be a better design if there were not 6 of them. If there were 5 of them, for example, and they were maybe spaced out a little closer together, so that you could have a 4-1 split even, as opposed to a 4-2. I think that right now there's too little decision-making involved in the play of the Royal Recruits. So giving you more decisions to make about them, right? It's really hard to... like the only misplay you can really do on Recruits is playing them at the wrong time. There is no playing them in the wrong place. And I think that one of the things that makes Clash Royale beautiful is the fact that you can play cards in the wrong place, that you have all these tiles. So I would love to see Recruits adjusted in some way, reworked in some way, where you have to do a little more thinking when you play them than you currently do. Keiko saying, I'm afraid of Adrian's biceps. That's hilarious. Well, Adrian's afraid of these Ram Riders right now. He just has no way to stop them. Needs to snowball this one. Not going to do it, and that's going to be a GG. All right, 2 up for Adrian, 2 down for Adrian. But falls in game number 3. Rainbow giving Strangers a little extra power here in this matchup. Imagine misplacing Recruits. It's functionally impossible. You cannot misplace Recruits. That's why I think that the card deserves a rework. Is because you really can't... There is no misplaying them. There's only playing them at the wrong time, not playing them in the wrong spot, really. So some people are asking about the disc golf discs behind me. There's a ton right there. There's also a few... I think there's a few... Oh, yeah. Boom, there's a few right here as well. Ignore the mess down here. There's a few right here as well that are from a friend of mine and I. We have like a little competition between the two of us where we bet on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and the winner gets a disc from that event. So this is the one that I won from the European Open this year, as I won our fantasy tournament. This was Idlewild, little Gannon-Burr special edition. This one was Ledgestone. This one with like the Godzilla on there, I think, is fire. That one's really cool. So yeah, I have a bunch of discs like this. So these are like kind of my collector's show off. My buddy and I, like, yeah, the loser has to buy the winner a disc, which is really fun. Oh, that reminds me, I have to go and track down the disc from the Champions Cup. And then these are all just other ones in my collection. None of those are even in my bag. That European Open one is sick. Yeah, it's super fire. Let's see. Are we on to our next game yet? Just about. Oh, there we go. Boom. Here we go. Keef up next for Team Queso. It's like connecting paws. Anyone remember that game? Yeah. How many sunglasses do you have? I don't know. Like, let me see. I have like 30, 40 pairs. Something like that. I think 40. Yeah, about 40. Are you good at disc golf? It depends on the day. I was really having a nice run in the summertime and got to a place I was really happy with my game. Then I went on a big disc golf trip where I played like 130-something holes over 4 days, or 3 or 4 days, and kind of strained my arm a little bit. And then after that, I have not been the same player. I'm also not playing as much right now. I'm trying to get myself back into playing shape. But I was feeling happy, really happy with my game this summer, and I've had a bit of a regression as of late. How many disc golf bags do you have? Like 4, but I have my old bag that I used for many, many years. Then I have my new bag. That's the one that I really use. And then I have, like, a couple small, like, cheap, like, my son has his bag. My wife has her bag. And then I have, like, an extra trash one that used to be my wife's old one. So I guess I only have 2, but there's a lot of bags in my family. Yes, I remember the guy whose account I checked. I already responded that I laughed when Smurfblade destroyed you and then you accused him of hacking. It's the funniest thing ever. Do I play traditional golf? I do not. I have, but I don't. Keef looks like he's piloting a spaceship. Maybe. I'm not sure. Rainbow's standing up here. It's really interesting that players really don't, like, all pretty much play sitting down. And have to kind of, like, get comfy playing standing up for live on stage events. Totally different thing. Are those frisbees? They are disc golf discs. So you could say they are frisbees, a specific brand owned by the Whammo company. Here we go. Ram Rider into the left-hand side. Gets in front of the Little Prince. Arrows come out, but you still have an Evo Archer who's going to continue to make trouble here for Keef. Miner to pick up. Oh, the Bandit stops the Evo Archer from getting hit, though. What a Bandit from Rainbow. What a Bandit from Rainbow. That might end it. That might end it. What is Rainbow up to? Connection does hit on the right-hand side, just barely. Keef needs to spend as little as possible on this ghost. How much of that is he going to eat? He has to get the ghost is going to kill him, though. It doesn't get it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's a GG. Poison will be in, and Rainbow with a very, very nice play in this one. And I haven't had a chance to do a lot of replays today because we have been a little busy trying to get everything else functioning properly. But let's go ahead and see if I can queue up this replay here. And let's see if I got it right. The moment of truth right here. There we go. Here's the replay. Check out the defense of these Evo Archers that's going to come from Rainbow here in just a minute. So Mega Knight comes down. Are those Frisbees coming back? So here come the Evo Archers behind the Mega Knight. They're going to work and just clear this path in front of the Mega Knight here. But now they finally split. Ram Rider comes on the left-hand side. Little Prince down. So Little Prince goes out. But remember, arrows don't kill Evo Archers. The Bandit comes down, and that Miner, just not it. And maybe Rainbow was surprised the Miner didn't go behind. Either way, that was the one that really ended everything in that one. So GG, well played. All right, let's see. Next up for Team Queso is going to be Surgical Goblin. So we'll see him in just a moment. Reverse sweep in progress. Maybe. Maybe. That's all you watch. Your favorite Seagar card, why? The Ice Golem, because he's so cuddly. What is your Clash Royale deck right now? I'm playing that Graveyard, that, like, not really Splash Yard, but the Graveyard with Little Prince that everyone played, like we just saw earlier. Here we go. Surgical Goblin in against Rainbow. A little adjustment to Surge's setup here. Some redecorating, some shelves behind to cut the whole lot of his stuff. Preston Golden talking about, did Adrian get to sit? I know that in Season 1, OP Sam got to sit for a little while. Where is Morten? He's on Team S. He's on SK Gaming. We'll see them later. All right. And I've finally got some lineups. That seems off. Well, those lineups don't match what I'm seeing here. Swedish Championship will be held in January, but you have to be on server registry. Oh, that's fun. I'm hoping to get some more stuff here in North America. I think that some more development on regional esports would really be helpful overall.
What up? Future king over here.
Giant GY one more time. Expect arrows here as well. A little bit extra throwing those goblins behind the Evo Knight when you know there's a Guardian available. I don't love that play. Are you just trying to suck out the Guardian ability and get the +1 trade? Repulsive asking, or Ujwal saying, Rich, can you ask the community for Indian CR League? Well, any sort of CR League that is not CRL is going to be a community league, right? A third-party event. So that would take someone in India organizing an event for Indian players. And then they could, if their event was well constructed, then they could submit requests to the CR community manager team to see if there's, you know, available allocation of prize pool or things like that for it. But anything that's going to be out not CRL, someone needs to actually put it together themselves, whether it be a company, production team, whatever it might be. But there are definitely opportunities if you can put it together. Rainbow just running through Surge right now. Who still thinks Poison counters Graveyard? Anybody? Who still thinks Poison counters Graveyard? And Surge calling good game. GG, well played. Rainbow and Strangers taking the first set here. Let me see. Maybe I think I might want to turn this music down like a hair. That's too much. That's good. That's a great level. All right. Let's see. Did Mohamed Light lose? He lost a game, but then he won the 1v1 BO3 to clutch up for his team. Let's see. Nope. Okay. That's the end of set number 1. Strangers have the advantage. Let's go into our second set here. I believed that it was supposed to be Igor versus Firkin. I'm not sure that that's... Oh, wait. That's the wrong lineup. Hold on. This is the Team Queso matchup. Here we go. Let me look at this. I feel like this lineup is totally off. EGW, Firkin, Igor. Yeah, Igor was supposed to be in that last King of the Hill set for... Igor's listed as a sub for a number of sets. He was supposed to be in that King of the Hill set instead of Rainbow. But obviously, Stranger's happy with Rainbow's performance there. We'll see if Igor makes an appearance in the next set or not. Yeah, it's old stuff. Poison doesn't counter GY anymore. Yep. Yeah, I would agree with this assessment as well, that Mohamed, that Clown, Adrian, Sandbox are all world-class players who I would give about a 30% chance of winning. I maybe give, with Sandy's form this year, I maybe would give Adrian Clown a slightly better chance. But Sandbox, of course, just came off a great performance at the DreamHack Grand Finals. Poison counters Graveyard, hilarious. Did Mugi play? Yes, Mugi played. If you want to see the Mugi or Mo play, they both played in our previous match. If you're watching on YouTube, you can rewind and go watch the previous match for PUIGINS. They'll also be playing tomorrow and maybe also on Sunday for the LCQ. I am not streaming the rest of the LCQ. I'm only streaming today. But I am streaming all 4 days of the Grand Finals next week, Wednesday through Saturday. Rich, why don't you participate in tournaments? Because I'm trash compared to these players. There'd be no point. DarkAngel and I are wearing the same shirt, which is really fun. 774. 17:25, 28 seconds left. DarkAngel. Pressure balloon. He's going to get death damage here, I think. Firkin with no, maybe either choosing to hold snowball or not having snowball, whatever it is. I'm primarily active on YouTube and Twitter, for those of you who are asking. Lumberjack in, bomb tower high. Lumberjack going to hurt this bomb tower quite a lot and get dropped. Snowball would be needed, not going to be able to do it though. GG, well played. DarkAngel. Nice game 1 win here against Firkin. I have a skeleton or two hit the towers, but the other one, I don't know. I just don't see Poison being phenomenal against Graveyard anymore. I think that the hits that tend to come in end up making up the elixir difference. I'm a new player. Why doesn't Poison counter GY? Because the way that Poison ticks and GY spawns, you'll usually get a few shots in from a graveyard just like point by point. Especially even if there's a tank in. If there's a tank, even worse. But I think that in general, Poison used to feel pretty good against Graveyard in terms of countering it. Oh boy, that's a lot of damage there. Used to feel pretty good about countering. But then now I think that the damage that Graveyard tends to get makes up for that 1 elixir. Because it used to be that, hey, for 4 elixir, you do a pretty good job against Graveyard. But now I think that the positive elixir trade is no longer there because of the damage. And maybe it's also because the classic older Splash Yard didn't do as good of a job of tanking for Graveyard. Whereas now the current Graveyard decks provide better, stronger tanks that help even against Poison, that damage come in more. And then I think the sort of final thought on that is, yes, Poison quote-unquote counters Graveyard, doesn't counter Graveyard decks.
Future king over here.
Show us the CR bag behind you. Yeah, once we're totally caught up and we have like actual downtime, right? We're still maybe about 4 or 5 minutes behind the clean feed. Then when I'm forced to have longer downtimes, I will go ahead and show you guys more stuff from the setup and all those sort of things. 11:32, DarkAngel just crushing it. And Furkin's going to have to eat a few hundred more HP. These Mighty Miners are getting way more damage than... Oh, and that's just insult to injury right there. These Mighty Miners are getting more damage than they really should be. All right, P.E.K.K.A on one, Mini P.E.K.K.A on one side, Little Prince, Goblin Giant, and Sparky on the other. Rage, you know, interesting location for that Rage. Sparky does not shoot again. 4 archers on the board. Miner goes to the back, covers the archers on the right-hand side with Goblins. Fireball value is there. 17-14 to now going to be 654 plus log chip. No, log was log short. I feel like Furkin is just giving away so much damage. And he's doing it maybe in hopes of doing this, which if this doesn't do it, yeah, it doesn't do it in time. Oof. I was about to say, folks. All right, Team Queso with DarkAngel in the helm ties things up here in that second set. And there are your current standings, folks. So as you can see, with the loss, Hype Boys now has no chance of making it to the top 6, but SK Gaming, with their match later today, could totally do it. We'll see if they're able to make it happen. All right. Oh yes, the Clash Royale. This was part of the merch that was given away at World Finals. I'll bring it up here. This was well, for some people at World Finals. I'll show you guys some things that are in the setup here once we, like I said, once we're totally caught up to the stream. We're getting very close to being fully caught up, though. In fact, we might just about be there. We're almost fully caught up to our stream. Mugi on the same team? Yes, they are. Do you think Goblin Giant nerfs affected it that much? No, I think it needs a little bit more, actually. I would have reduced the HP a little bit more. To me, it felt like Frickin didn't know the LP interactions. Maybe. I don't know. No one's using Firecrackers. We've seen plenty of Firecracker in this tournament. Oh, that was a little early with the music. There we go. I'm trying not to use their music that's in the stream because their music, I do not have clearance on my channel for it. EGW, again, full Sith mode. Maybe a full mirror match here. We'll see. Lord Seb also had a relatively decent year. Made top 40 in points overall for CRL. Had 1 appearance in a monthly final in the 3rd month. Got first rounded there, but still 1 appearance is more than most people have. When you talk about Lord Seb's 2023 overall, first place finish in a global tournament back in August, probably the highlight of his year. Besides, of course, making it to the CRL monthly final, which comes with a nice little payday. Overall, Lord Sebastian earning $1,000 on the year from CRL directly. Is your favorite sport disc golf? Yeah, I play it all the time. I would say Ultimate Frisbee, but I don't have the knees for it anymore. So, really enjoyed Ultimate as well. But yes, flying disc sports overall are my favorites. But overall, Lord Seb had a fairly solid, like if you're talking about players who were in, pro versus semi-pro, whatever you want to call it, I would say that Lord Seb had a really respectable year overall. Will SK play today? Yes, they will. That the new tower troop would be broken or balanced. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how it's implemented. I haven't really interacted with it yet. That's a great advantage the Miner taking there with the Mighty Miner tanking. Now you talk about this matchup between these two. Pretty close EGW. Only 4 spots or 3 spots above Lord Seb in the CRL rankings. 37th overall on points this year. Never made it to a monthly final, but made it to multiple round robins. Got 2nd place in month 4 in his group for round robin, so was close to making it to a monthly final. But not quite. Poison in for EGW. He needs to really get Poison cycle going. He's behind by a full cycle. This might be done. Lord Seb might have this. He is so far ahead right now. Unless EGW can get a connection here, a significant connection, this is going to be a big GG. And those Evo Archers don't reach the bomb tower. EGW maybe not getting the measurement right there. Evo Archers trying to work their way through. They was being tanked for a little bit, but outside of his grasp at this point is a win for EGW. Lord Seb going to go ahead and finish things off here. And what a brilliant King of the Hill performance for Lord Sebastian. Tremendous. Game 1 in. All right. I think we're just about caught up to the live now. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, we are now caught up to the live stream, folks. Everything you see from now on is actually live. Rich is pro at streaming, yes, but not pro at the game. Are you really Rich? That is my name, correct. Is Queso Cup organized by Team Queso? Yes. Will we see grand final today or tomorrow? No, so this is the LCQ. Today is round 1. Tomorrow is the semifinals, and then the grand final. Are we really doing that over 3 days? That's a weird schedule. Let me look at the schedule here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, folks. Here we go. Lord Seb still on. Up next, Firkin. Let me schedules. That's the wrong schedule. Caster's info. Does that have the schedule? Calendar. Here we go. Let me look at this calendar here real quick. 1 second. Oh, we're only getting 2 matches today. My mistake. We're not doing all 4 first-round matches today. We're only doing 2 of them today. We're doing PUIGINS, Hype Boys, and then Queso Strangers. Tomorrow is Tribe Gaming is the other 2 quarterfinals. Tribe versus SK, CALALAS versus CHIVAS. And then on Sunday, we have the semifinals and the finals of the LCQ. And then next weekend is the full world final. 4 days of action, which will all be streamed right here. My mistake. I thought we were doing the first 2 rounds today, or first 4 matches today. Only the first 2 matches today. My mistake. Hey, Rich, I'm a free-to-play stuck at Grand Champion. Any tips you can give me? Being level 14 with only Evo Skelly is such a pain. Be level 15 without only Evo Skelly. So don't know what to tell you there, bud. Were you level 14? Were you stuck at Grand Champion before the update? Or is that new since the Elite WoW, since level 15 made it into ranked? 2 world champs on 1 team, is that fair? If someone else wants to not have that be the case, then they should pay for those players. But right now, Shot CALALAS is the one who's putting that team together. So Furkin going with a interesting version here. I still don't know if I love doing this. Furkin's, let's back up for a second. Furkin, one of the top Royal Giant players in the world. But I really don't know if I love the choice of... I would have kept the Zappies over the Mother Witch, rather than Mother Witch over the Zappies. I don't really know why he's keeping the Zappies. Maybe he was thinking about keeping the Mother Witch over the Zappies. I think the Zappies are just so valuable behind the Royal Giant in a way that Mother Witch doesn't provide the same utility. Nice little King Tower activation. That's going to be impactful here, but Furkin still has to actually get damage. Lord Seb has not let him really do much of anything of impact. What are your thoughts here on Royal Giant? The Mother Witch Zappies version was so dominant this year. I totally understand putting the Evo Archers in here. I think there's an argument that you still do the Evo RG version. But I understand Evo Archers are so strong. What I don't agree with necessarily is Mother Witch versus Zappies. The other thing, too, about Mother Witch and Zappies is that when they were both in the deck, they both provided Fireball bait. Or Big Spell bait. I guess they kind of do that here. The Evo Archers, certainly you can even see there, demanding the lightning out. It's a lot of damage here from that Skeleton King. Suddenly Furkin's back in it. Lord Seb now in a bit of a bind. Fireball in, Lightning will beat Fireball, and that's going to be it. GG, well played. Lord Seb, 2 up, 2 down, and 1 away from a King of the Hill sweep. I think Evo Archers over the RG lose a lot of push potential. I agree. But Evo Archers are so much stronger than Evo RG. So, okay, now that we are in a situation where we're fully caught up to the live, let me go ahead and I will pull this bag down for you. This was some of the merch giveaway. I don't know how many people actually got this because I think this was a little bit more rare for World Finals. But yeah, you can see very cool backpack with it says Clash Royale there, has the CR logo, and has a bunch of like, it's kind of a weird bag. Has like a bunch of strange pockets. This up here is like, I think just like a sweatshirt pocket up here on top because it doesn't actually go through. Like, it doesn't go through anything. I think it's just like a sweatshirt pocket up top, which is actually kind of neat now that I understand what it's for. And then, yeah, nice big, I don't know if it has any secret pockets inside. Oh, it does. Oh, there are some secret pockets inside. Oh, cool. I'm like probably never going to use them. It's probably just going to be in my setup because I don't want to mess it up, right? It's so cool. But yeah, pretty rad overall. Oh, that's a cool little. If this weren't such a nice, pristine, clean CRL bag, I might actually use it. But honestly, I don't want to mess it up. I want it to stay nice for the setup. So, oh, I need to get that string up in there. There you go, string. All right, there we are. Do they have a red color for that bag as well? Not that I know of. Are you doing a giveaway? No, although I might do some giveaways at some point on the channel, connected to some of the things I'm doing soon. So we'll see. Why do Evo Archers do so much damage? They're broken. Yeah, they're pretty nasty. They did get a recent little nerf, so that's nice. So they're not as bad as they were, but they're still pretty crazy. Molite versus Mugi. What about it? What about Molite versus Mugi? Let's see. You hit Arena 10. Congratulations. Let's see. Opinion Electro Giant. I don't love it, but is what it is. Here's another little fun thing in the background. This was a very, very nice gift I received from Mohamed Light's mother at World Finals. His family came to Worlds, and she gave me this. You can see that it has, like, the pyramids and stuff on it. Can I get the... Right? Really pretty. Isn't that cool? She said she really appreciates my casting and how supportive I am, and it was a very sweet gift. I was really touched. That was very nice. Saying Chandra, hey Richie Rich. Hello, how are you? I'm so disappointed you get the Ice Golem plushie. Yeah, I know. I really wish they would do it. I really wish they would do it. I don't think they're ever going to do it, but it would have been a cool move, even if it was like a one-off. I mean, that would be really cool if it was a one-off, but we'll see. We'll see. What do you think the most broken Evo is? Probably still Archers, but Knight's also pretty nasty. Let's see. It is pretty cool. That's really cool. Wow, that's great. It looks cool. Wow, sick. Yeah. Setup video tour one of these days. One of these. I also have like a ton of behind-the-scenes footage from World Finals to make into a like a kind of little like vlog or whatever. I need to find the time to do something with it. But I have a ton of footage from World Finals, like from backstage, from a whole bunch of stuff. Does Clash Royale sell any merch plushies? They're weird about the store. It's like on and then off and on and off. What's your thoughts on tower troops? How they're gonna affect the game? I don't know. I think that what I would have. I don't love tower troops. I don't dislike them either. I'm very curious to see how they end up manifesting. And whether they end up being a positive or a negative, and I don't know yet. But someone, I think it was Zach, once gave me an interesting idea where it would be really interesting if there were different arenas that had different things, right? Like we've already seen a rage game mode or like different kind of game modes. If there were different arena, like if we went into a game and 3 different arenas pop up and like each player could eliminate one and then you play in the arena that was left, that'd be an interesting mode, right? My main issue is changing the interaction we spent so long learning. The game has to change. The game does have to change, folks. The game can't be the same game forever. Otherwise, the game can't continue to support itself, right? So the game has to evolve. Wow, Molite Mom, that's an interaction. Yeah, his whole family was great. I met Molite's dad. I met his brother. All very, very nice. All very cool people. Do I think certain decks need a specific tower troop in the future? Maybe. I'm very curious about how it takes out. Mr. Bacon would have preferred. I do think that coaches doing translation would have been nice. Not all coaches are multilingual, so that was one of the challenges. I thought the Japanese translator actually plays the game. He was tremendous. It is one of the challenges of Clash Royale specifically, though. Is there's so much terminology, whether you're talking about cards or also talking about like just the kind of the different terms that we use and that change from language to language for things like push or things like counter or stuff like that. It's not even direct, right? Like a lot of the translations are very indirect and kind of slangy and stuff like that. And we also say things, right? Like we say loon instead of balloon for the balloon. We say 6-man. Right? There's a lot of like little slangs and stuff. And I think that makes it very hard for translators to come in and interact with the game, the complexity of the game. VA2 saying, this thing I dislike about updates is they always replace features with new instead of adding new ones. Keep the old what old features were replaced by new features? I'm not sure I track. Are you love Clash Royale? I love Clash Royale. It's my favorite mobile game of all time. It's up there with my all-time favorite games. I think that Clash Royale, in terms of its game design, is the best designed game specifically for mobile. An interesting note here, and that's an really interesting note here. I heard this comment. People not recognizing when Hire was talking about LCOP training with him, the translator didn't know who LCOP was and didn't really understand that relationship. So that's very difficult. I don't envy any translator trying to talk about a community they're not endemic in across 2 different languages that might have very different terminology and depth and slang for that thing. What if Mega Knight had an Evo? Ugh. One thing they took away was quests. Not a bad feature, but it was removed. There are more, I'm not going to name them all. They replaced quests, right? It's like with the, oh, what's it called? Where like you do different things for the cards. Can't remember what the feature's called. Honestly, I didn't like quests. I thought that quests were annoying, and I especially think that for players, I think that quests were kind of, in some ways, like, what's the best way to put it? I mean, I guess maybe that like the new feature for cards isn't inherently better, but I didn't like the quests. I almost never did them. If I did them, it was begrudging. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I guess we're different on that one. I thought quests were not a great feature. I thought they didn't make sense in Clash Royale. They were weird. All right, final minute. It's pretty close. Let's dial in the gameplay here, folks. Oh, that wall breaker might go. Delivery just barely catches it. But look at the cycle from EGW. DarkAngel needs to catch this miner. He doesn't. And so that's Poison will do it. Poison going. Miner plus Poison trying to beat it out. Not going to happen, though. GG, well played. EGW gets game number 1 here against DarkAngel. Do you like old Clash Royale or new Clash Royale? I say both. Yeah, I like them both. I don't even know what that means, really. Why is Mugi wearing a CALALAS shirt in the thumbnail? Because Mugi is part of CALALAS in this tournament. Mugi for Queso Cup is on the CALALAS roster. Ice Spirit 1 cycle buff needed? I don't know. I don't know about that one. I think it's even then, even with 2 Evos, I don't know if you'll see Ice Spirit Evo. What would you like the next Evo to be? You know, it's interesting. The Evo strategy has been a little strange to me because so many Evos have gone for troops that were already strong and super meta. And I understand why, right? You wanted the Evos to be the cards that had some familiarity. I would like to see more Evos going for cards that currently don't have a great place in the meta. I think that would be interesting. Valk is kind of very rare these days because Evo Knight overshadows it. That would be interesting. That's a lot of damage on the right. Good late skeletons here to get the Mother Witch off the board, but EGW is in trouble early. When next CRL? Sometime in 2024. Do you think there should be new spells? I have to say spells right now. Eventually, you want to vary things up and not just do new troops. I think troops are the most interesting thing overall, and I think spells overall are pretty good. But there's going to have to be a new spell at some point, as long as you're introducing new cards. Evo Ram Rider next? Ugh. Why did they put legendaries in Arena 11? I don't even know what you mean. I see Mr. Bacon talking about teams. I don't know where, in what context, Mr. Bacon, are you talking about teams right now? Why are Evos focused on the cycle meta? There's barely anything for beatdown. That's a good question. I think we've seen Evos incorporated pretty seamlessly into beatdown. I mean, we've seen a lot of Golem, a lot of E-Giant, and a lot of Goblin Giant. is a lot here. I think it gets shut down. Fireball has to go to the Evo Firecracker. DarkAngel doing a good job so far. Between the Cage, the Ram Rider, and these recruits, it's been really hard for EGW to find any way through. He's going to try to get the Monk here to hold the recruits. He's going to go for the reflection here. Hog should get one, I think, and it does. That was a great push. That was a great push by EGW. Right, Monk in front, hold the recruits' attention. He needs to stop this Lumberjack, though. Oh, that touch was massive. DarkAngel might have it now. Cage could fully counter here. The Evo Firecracker is nasty, but doesn't let the Hog break through. EGW trying to protect the Evo Firecracker. It does take a little bit of damage. Hog down. Do the Skeletons do their job? And they do. The Skeletons do a great job. Hog gets one. Hog gets two. Evo Firecracker gets one off. And what a comeback from EGW. Wow. You see, he's vibing over there. What a comeback from EGW. Tremendous, tremendous comeback. Let's go ahead and I think I can queue up the replay here on that one pretty quickly. And that was just EGW doing everything he could to keep his Evo Firecracker up. Right, check this out. Ice Spirit, Snowball, don't touch my Evo Firecracker. And DarkAngel just not wanting to spell it, right? Trying to do everything to maintain his spells here. And really kind of refusing to get it off the board in a more traditional way. And I think that was a bit of a miscalculation from DarkAngel. I need to go look at his cycle again. I don't think his spells were that buried that he couldn't do it. And there you go. So we're going to set number 5, folks, after that one. Let's let that run one more time. Let me take this back a little bit here and really look at this cycle, because I really think... All right, so Cage, then Evo then Skelly drags. This gets one. Wouldn't arrows clear there now? He goes Mother Witch, then Lumberjack. Yeah, maybe the cycle was just in a bad spot, but I think not ever spelling that off was maybe a miscalculation on DarkAngel's spot. Great comeback for EGW. Let's see. Let me catch up to the chat now. Here we go. Favorite card in this meta? Not sure. Drew confirmed a new spell will come in 2024. Oh, that's exciting. Do you think it's possible to max out troops without spending money? To max out all of them? Not all of them, but I don't really know what it would take. I haven't seen someone do the experiment of what it would take to... I think the hard part about elite wildcards is that elite wildcards are only generated, other than, like, you know, getting them from Path of Legends or getting them from like if you have legendary, if you have wild cards, like other than getting them either from Path of Legends or from that 10,000 gold shop offer that comes up, it's really the way you get them is by getting extra cards when you already have a card at level 14. I think that's the hardest barrier to elite wildcards, is that say you're trying to max just one deck and you're someone who doesn't have other cards outside of your one deck, or outside of, let's say even you have some depth, right? Let's say you have 12 cards that are maxed. That means you have like almost 100 other cards that when you get them in boxes and things like that, they don't generate elite wildcards. I think that that's the real frustrating bottleneck of someone trying to get elite wildcards and trying to max one deck from a total free-to-play standpoint. I think that's, and again, I think that EWCs and EVOs are both a little too aggressively monetized for my taste, but it is what it is. Were you nervous when you host CRL? I always get a little nervous before something live, but this was probably the most calm I've been for a big live show, for sure. It's different when you're doing like the on-stage hosting stuff versus just being on the desk. Just being on the desk, that's totally fine. When you're doing the on-stage hosting stuff and you're moving and you're doing like all this other stuff, that's a very different ask. I was definitely more nervous for the show intros last year than I was this year. This year I was pretty dialed in, and I felt pretty ready for it. It was fun. Clash Royale is a game suited to 1v1. Feels like team-based. Doesn't make sense to me. I also agree with you, Mr. Bacon. I think that teams are weird. I think that unless you're including 2v2, honestly, I think that the best team format that I've seen has actually been the ESL Snapdragon Pro Series one, where it's teams of 2. One person plays duel, one person plays Mega Draft, and then they play 2v2 together. I think that's been the best in a long time. But yeah, I think that teams are weird if you're not emphasizing 2v2. Do I think there should be a better mechanic game Evo rather than cycles? No, I don't think so. I think it's I haven't thought about it. So maybe there is one. I just don't know. I haven't thought of one. If CRL 20 was a solo competition, Ruben would have won it anyway. Maybe. Hey, Rich, don't you think that E-Golem and Battle Hero needs a nerf? Don't Supercell think? They don't perform that well. I think that again, Battle Hero is a concept I don't like. And I specifically I think that Battle Healer should not heal itself. Again, Eagle and Battle Hero is not doing that well in the meta. But I do think Battle Healer shouldn't heal itself. I think that's one major flaw in Battle. I think that healing overall, initially, it's interesting if you look at the history of Clash Royale. A long time ago, Clash Royale devs were saying that healing was a mechanic they would never put in. Then they put in Heal Spirit. Then they put in Battle Healer. I think that's really interesting that that's kind of changed over time. But I would, it's 100K, not 19. I don't know what Chestnut's talking about over on Twitch. But I do think that Eagle and Battle Healer, I think Battle Healer needs it, not so much the Eagle. No more in-game duels for 24, please. I think that in-game duels are necessary for the earlier stages, like the... okay, here we go. I think we're finally into our third and final set. Let's do it. I think in-game duels are necessary for things like the Swiss bracket stage, and maybe even for the group stage. I'd prefer them out of the group stage, but at the very minimum, I want in-game duels out for the live broadcast, for the top 8. Mr. Bacon, and Surgical Goblin probably would have won 2019 LSAT 2018. I don't know about that. If it was purely solos, I don't know about that. I think it's a really hard claim to make. That is so unfair. Not sure what you're talking about. I want to get rid of Trophy Road and have a duels ladder. I think Trophy Road is very good for casual players. A duels ladder would be really interesting. I think that it would be far less played than regular. Has Igor played yet? No, he's supposed to be. He was supposed to play, be in the first King of the Hill lineup. Not sure what it is. Siam saying, I am 100% free to play. I have all cards at level 14 and 17 level 15 cards. That's wild. You must play a ton. And here we go. Some actual Evo RG. Lord Seb having a very nice day today. Do I think we'll ever get Evo spells? Probably. When does the grand finals start? I'm gonna be late. Well, today this is our last match of the day. We're only doing 2 matches today. I'm not sure. They're trying to find an English streamer for tomorrow and Sunday because I'm not available. They don't have one yet. The normal people who would stream it aren't available, so they're trying to find somebody to stream tomorrow and Sunday for the LCQ. But then for the actual grand finals, all 4 days of the World Finals for the Queso Cup Teams Edition will be streamed live on this channel next week, starting on Wednesday. Josh on Gill, I was talking about how much Evolved Firecracker did so much damage and won him the game. Well, he could have taken it off the board. He opted not to use spells on it. So, Firkin not feeling it today. Lord Seb kind of stunting a little bit here, flexing a bit, playing RG against the RG Master. That Mega Knight's going to do some damage. That's some real serious damage here for Firkin. And the E-Spirit does not get the Ram Rider. Does it connect? Fishboy slaps it last second. Firkin not happy with that. One more Fireball for Lord Seb. Just needs to not make a big mistake here. Good Barb Barrel. Ram Rider connects. Cycle is too good. Lord Seb continues to have a really good day. And the question is, who got the sweep for Queso? Let me remember. Who got the sweep for Queso? I think that did Lord Seb get it? Yeah, it was Lord Seb who swept for Queso. So, dude's killing it today in King of the Hill. Dude's crushing it in King of the Hill today. Let's see. Clash Royale is life. I feel you. Speaking of life, folks, if you don't want to miss next weekend, subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure that you get the notifications. And also you can ring the bell for notifications. Make sure you come back next weekend. 3 days next week. Where's that? Let me just double check that schedule here. For the well, that's just today's schedule. Where is that? There we go. Yes, next week, starting on December 20th. So I believe that's Wednesday the 20th, right? Let me look at my calendar. Wednesday the 20th. Boom. Can I see the whole calendar? Yes, starting Wednesday the 20th. So the 20th to the 23rd, all 4 days, going to be live here on the channel. How to know every team roster. Look in the description here on YouTube. You can see all the team rosters there. Lord Seb on a winning streak. Yeah, Lord Seb killing it today. Has Igor played today? No, he hasn't, and I thought he was going to. If you could add a card to the game, what would it be? No idea. I haven't thought about it. So, no idea. But that's someone else's job to figure that out. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other cool new stuff that we added to the... oh, and a little shout out to... Actually, you got 2 gifts from Egypt at World Finals. Shout out to Yusuf, who used to do thumbnails a long time ago, who gave me this... the Egyptians came through with gifts at World Finals. But I gave Yusuf a CRL hat in exchange for some thumbnails years ago, and he gave me that little Egyptian obelisk. So shout out Clash Royale Egypt scene. Here we go. Can Lord Seb continue to be the king of the hill? He's been great today. I would use an anti-spell card. Any spell opponent uses a complete block to reflect it. Nope. I think that is. I'm not even trying to be mean here. I think that's a really, really bad idea. I don't like that idea at all. I think there's no way to make that balanced. Rich, can you color code your golf discs, please? Oh, interesting. I could think about that. I consider it. Is disc golf still playable this time of year in Texas? Yeah, I played yesterday. Disc golf's pretty much playable year-round in Texas. There's like a little chunk of time where, especially lately when we've been having some freezes, where it's not playable. But it's pretty... There aren't a lot of weeks where you straight up cannot play. It's one of the nice things. Oh, that's going to be a nasty Nasty, raged up Loon connection for Lord Seb, who is definitely happy about it. A little head nod there. Boom, boom, boom. Getting it done. I love doubles. I think doubles how to play the game. Matchups matter a lot less than 2v2. I actually prefer, I actually like 2v. I think 2v2 is the best competitive mode. But unfortunately, it's just not really engaged. It's not heavily a part of the game these days. So I think that, yeah, I think that 2v2, I'm the biggest fan of 2v2 in the world. That's why I really enjoyed it. Again, I think that the ESL format where you had teams of two, where they played, where one player played duel, one player played Mega Draft, and one player played 2v2, or then they played 2v2 in the third set if they made it there. I thought that was a phenomenal format. Do you think it would restore the skill gap if we saw when cards that will be evoed are used? I don't know what you mean by that. Morten isn't playing today, right? No, SK Gaming's not playing today. This is our last match of the day. I thought it was all 4 matches from the quarters today, but it's only 2. This deck from EGW is super weird. I'm not totally understanding the purpose of the Monk here. Right, Monk is usually Monk's purpose is usually to work with a win condition. That's not me, that's from production. Oh my gosh, Production's Elgato just totally crapped out. Oh no. Well, that's their capture card, which I'm not using. There we go, now it's back. Oh, that's so funny. Like, Monk with the, like, Monk with RG, Monk with, whatchamacallit, with Loon. Monk to try to, like, tank for the win condition, so it can, a powerful, heavy-hitting win condition, so it can get through and get real damage. I think that's where Monk really sees its strength. Monk here is kind of weird. Monk Miner is a decent combo, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm reserving judgment for now, but it does seem like a funky combination here. I guess if, like, you can get Monk in front of your Mortar and prevent Mortar from taking a whole bunch of damage. So I don't know. This was played in World Finals. Oh, I didn't mean to pin that. I was trying to pin that. That was weird. It was played in World Finals, I think, by higher, yeah, but did it go well? No, that's a lot. It's a lot to handle. Lumberjack trying to do it. Now you see the... Here, now let's see. Is there a Monk going to come in front of this Mortar to protect it? EGW gets it done. All right. Lord Seb's reign of terror is ended. Richmond boy, how you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Just predicting Evo Archer's Firecracker. Fair enough. So tomorrow on Channel to be determined, Tribe versus SK, Shot CALALAS versus CHIVAS. SK Gaming really needs to put up some wins here. Again, SK Gaming currently is not in the grand finals. At this LCQ, making it to... How's there a 5th, 6th this LCQ? Do they play matches off stream or something? If they lose? Because making it to the next semifinals would be top 4. SK Gaming needs to at least make it to the grand final to have even a hope of making it into the grand final, into the championship next weekend. So they need to at least make the grand final of this LCQ. So I wonder if SK Gaming can make that run or not. Let's go ahead into game number 3, King of the Hill. Surge versus EGW. Let's see if Surgical Goblin has a little better time of it in this one. Is he running Graveyard here? If you could heavily buff a card, what would it be? Ice Golem! Why not teams of 3 so you can put King of the Hill in the mix as well? I don't think King of the Hill's that interesting, to be honest. It's cool, but it's... I don't love it. I like dual mode. I love Mega Draft. I think dual mode, Mega Draft, and 2v2 are all, to me, more interesting than King of the Hill. I think what would make King of the Hill really interesting is if they did King of the Hill using the... I don't think he gets the King Tower activation here. Fish Boy's going to die too early, I think. Yep, it does. What would make King of the Hill really interesting, in my opinion, is if they used the Royale Masters duel format, which is if a player on your team wins with a given deck, that those 8 cards are now out for the rest of the match. So, hey, like, if you win with Hoggy Q in Game 1, you can't play any of those cards in Game 2. And if you lose Game 2, your teammate who comes in cannot use those cards as well, right? Like, that King of the... That dual format would be, I think, an interesting way. Right now, it's just like King of the Hill is kind of like, hey, the decks are too random, and that's why I like dual mode, why I like Mega Draft, because you're reducing the randomness of whatever matchup you run in. So like BO5 duels, yeah. Like BO5, like the BO5 Mega Draft, like duels I've done on my channel, or like the BO5 duels that you might see in Royale Masters. How could they buff Ice Golem? I don't know. Make his ability last longer, I think that'd be the most interesting, right? Just making them tankier isn't as interesting, but making the ability last longer, as Wolves Baseball points out, I think that's the most interesting buff you could give Ice Golem. Do you like the Snowstorm mode? I don't. I haven't played it. I honestly don't really usually play like the fun modes or whatever, you know what I mean? Like the LTM, I don't usually play them. Recruit does not connect. Surge snowballs, and does that recruit tank? It does, it does! And the Loon misses! Huge damage for Surgical Goblin. Justin, please watch your language. That's going to be a 1-minute timeout. Ability knockback, maybe? That could be interesting, too. Surgical Goblin really can't spell cycle this, though. And that's... does EGW light in here? No, he doesn't want to spend the elixir. I think, though, that Evo... I understand the Evo Archer's placement. I think that was really risky for EGW because... Oh, and one gets through anyway. Because that Evo Archer's placement made it really easy as a choice for Surge to arrows there and then get the arrows value and put that in the position it did. So Surgical Goblin takes an important win here for Team Queso. Remember, it's not just survival in the competition, which is going to be hard for SK Gaming to leapfrog from 7th place up, but it's also the standings, and the top 2 teams get a first-round bye when we go into our big double Elim playoffs next week. So trying to push for that top 2 is really important, and Team Queso right now currently in 4th place at 130 points. If they could leap Shot CALALAS or Tribe Gaming, I don't think they could even catch PUIGINS. I think PUIGINS is pretty locked into being our number 1 seed, at least our number 1 or number 2 seed for sure. But if Queso could leapfrog into the 2nd place spot with a great performance here, that means that they would get a first-round bye, which is absolutely massive. Serge TS, hey, how are you, Serge? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, what's your favorite card in the game? Ice Golem. I really miss Expo Master. Well, travel to Korea and say hello. Hit him up on Twitter. Who's the leader of Tribe? Like, of the CR team or overall of Tribe Gaming, which would be Chief Pat. I've been there on the Miss NATO. Yeah, I feel you guys on that one. Miss NATOs are brutal. Why Ice Golem? Because he's so cuddly and cute and squishy. That's why. Jeez. Of course, he's the best. What do you think is the worst card not including Barb Hut? Like, do you mean least useful or worst designed? That's because that's two different questions there, Azikazi. What's the biggest difference from Momo and Mugi to the rest of the players in your opinion? That's interesting. I think that Mo and Mugi have a much better ability to quickly process the macro of a game. There's a lot of players who have phenomenal micro, but I think that, I mean, part of it's also nerves, right? They don't make as many mistakes as other players do, but I think that Mo and Mugi, and all the historical S tier players have the ability to process information and make decisions, I think, a little bit faster. And specifically, decision making on how the matchup should be played. Quickly recognizing what the matchup is and what are the ways, not just what are the methods I'm going to use to make the game winnable. I think that's huge. And I don't know what happened here, but they are calling this a win for Team Queso. That's interesting. Very interesting. What just happened here? Didn't we have another game played? Let me go back here for a second. I thought we still had one more game to play. Right? Surge won that. I thought we had a couple more games to play. What just happened? I thought we still... Why shouldn't Queso win? Because I thought we still had... Am I wrong? Didn't we have... I thought EGW was the second person up for his team, not first. Let me go back here. Let's see. So King of the Hill started with, yeah, Firkin. Right? Wasn't Firkin first? Yeah, Firkin was first. And then EGW. So, is it because... oh, interesting. So, Rainbow wasn't available, and Igor didn't have his camera, which is required for play. So, it's a forfeit loss for strangers in that game, which is crazy. Crazy. And instead of having a chance to 1500 UTC. 10 a.m. Eastern. There you go. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, there you go. Not what I anticipated happening there. Okay. So, player wasn't available, and that meant it that free win. Let's see. What's the worst card mechanic-wise, not including Barb Hut? Battle Healer, but also I think recruits, honestly, like, I would like them to have I'd like them to be adjusted. I don't like cards that, like, don't... Like, same thing with Barb Hut, right? Barb Hut, really, there's, like, two placements. Do you make it go into the left lane or to the right lane? Right? Maybe you put it behind your tower at some point. But really, it's like, do you put it in the middle left or middle right? I don't like that about Barb Hut. And same thing kind of, I think, with recruits. Do you put them in the back left, back middle, or back right? Front left, front middle, front right, right? There's, like, very limited placements. I think cards should have to have both micro and macro decisions. Timing and placement should be a part of it. Well, that is it for today. It's been a whole lot of fun. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I think that we do have... Let me see if we have the bracket available here, if they actually updated the bracket for us. There we go. Let's take a look at the bracket as it stands. PUIGINS and Queso will face off tomorrow. Or no, sorry, we'll face off on Sunday. Tomorrow, Tribe Gaming versus SK Gaming and CALALAS versus CHIVAS Esports. That will be our matchups tomorrow. Channel TBD, as I will not be streaming those. And then on Sunday, we will have the semifinals and grand finals for this event with the top 4 teams and so on. So that will be on Sunday. And then, of course, I'm not streaming those 2 days, but next weekend, starting Wednesday the 20th through Saturday. Wednesday through Saturday, I am streaming the Grand Championship for the Queso Cup Teams Edition. $32,500 total on the line for everybody. And that's going to be the story here. So I hope that you guys come for it. If you're watching on Twitch, hang around. We're going to find somebody cool to go ahead and throw a little raid to. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, ring the bell. Come back next week. Tons of Clash Royale esports here to end our phenomenal year of Clash Royale competitive and get things ready for what's going to be a great 2024. As always, be excellent to each other and party on, dude. All right, Twitch, hold on just a minute.